Every single ARPG has its version of a chase unique. They're needed in these types of games to give people something to push towards and give them that dopamine rush that they're always looking for. When that item drops, it's just such a huge relief and you get so excited. It's just the best feeling ever. Back in the day in Diablo 2, if you dropped a high rune or a chase unique, it was so exciting. Now, if this is your first journey into the ARPG worlds, you might not know what a chase unique is. Well, in the simplest terms possible, it's just a unique that is so strong you want to chase after it. It's the best in-slot item for you or a multitude of other builds, and it's because it's just ridiculously strong. And like I said, if you take a look at ARPGs, they all have their versions of this. Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction had a bunch of them. They had stuff like Arachnids, SOJ, Griffins, etc. PoE has theirs with stuff like Headhunter and Mageblood. Even Destiny had their versions with stuff like Galahorn and other god roll items that you might be looking for. And now with Diablo 4 on the market, it has its share of chase uniques, but are they too hard? Well, in order to answer that, we have to start to take a look at what the chase items are in Diablo 4. On June 23rd, the lead Diablo 4 class designer, Adam Jackson, took to Twitter to confirm that there are actually indeed chase uniques in the game. He showed off 6 of them, including Doombringer, the Grandfather, Ring of Starless Skies, and Dariel's Visage, Harlequin Crest, and the Melted Heart of Selig. Now, this was cool to see because yes, indeed, they did confirm there are these chase uniques in the game. But on the other hand, it made people very upset because they're ridiculously hard to get. There are chase uniques and then there's just absolute insanity chase uniques. He did go on to explain how you can drop these. There were 4 kind of bullet points to this. The first one being they can drop from any level 85 plus enemy. So if you're level 85 or above, or you're running nightmare dungeons with the sigil that makes the enemies level 85 and above, you can drop from those. The second point being you can get them anywhere you could get a regular unique, and they always drop at 820 eye power. Now, I actually do like this point because it doesn't matter where you find it. You might find it at level 100, you might find it below level 85 because you're running a Nightmare Sigil. But it doesn't matter because they're always going to be dropping at the same eye level, so even if you do find one earlier in your run, it won't really affect you. Like, if you dropped it at level 85 as opposed to level 100, it could have potentially been a weaker drop, but because they made it static, it's actually a really good idea in my opinion. The third point being that they just have 6 in the game, confirming the exact number. And 4 saying that they're just really rare. And yeah, we get that because almost no one has seen these. It was a really big deal when the first Harlequin Crest was found because no one had seen it for days. I think it was something like over a week had gone by before somebody actually found one. And if you take a look at other ARPGs with really rare items like Path of Exile, for example, one of the rarest items in that game is a Mirror of Kalandra, a currency item. But people drop these on day 1 of League Reset. They're rare, but people still find them. Now, I'm by no means necessarily a PoE no-lifer. I have played a little bit, dating all the way back to Heist League, but the closest I've ever gotten to a mirror is finding a mirror shard from Ultimatum League. But jumping back to Diablo 4, this is making people extremely upset with how rare these items actually are. Because if you take a look at most of these uniques, they are actually pretty good. Harlequin Crest would probably be the best in slot for almost every single build. You get a ton of max life, you get cooldown reduction, you get resource generation, and you get all stats. And it has its unique aspect gaining you damage reduction and also plus 4 ranks to all skills. That is a huge boost, and I would do anything to get this on my Barbarian. Now, if you're a normal level-headed person, you might be thinking, okay, well, yeah, they might be rare, but some other items in the game are pretty strong as well, and I might be able to trade for them. But if you take a look in the bottom right corner of these items, they are account bound. So even if somebody does get really lucky and they drop this and they might not want to use it, but they wanted to trade with it, you can't do that either. So it's just going to sit in your stash and collect dust when somebody else might be looking for it. I really do hope that this is something that Blizzard does change in the near future. Maybe this was just something they were testing around with on game launch to kind of keep people to do it themselves instead of relying on trading with other people, because right now the trade in the game isn't that good. I know that's a really weak explanation, I get that, but it's just me trying to keep some hope alive that Blizzard does know what they're doing. Because right now, in my opinion, the dev team is actually really on the ball. They've been paying attention to the community, they've been listening to things, and they are just making sure that the game is as good as it can possibly be for as many different people. And if any Diablo devs are watching this video, please, please, please take the account bound off of uniques. Trading is one of the biggest things in ARPGs. I love the trading aspect in PoE. I love the trading aspect that came in old Diablo 2. If people don't want to trade, they can just do a version of solo self-found where they just don't get any items from people. It's not that hard, but trading is what makes ARPGs in my opinion. Now, some of you guys might be watching this video and going, oh my god, that unique looks amazing. I really want that for my build. How do I get my hands on it? Well, like the bullet point said, anywhere you can drop a unique, one of these can drop. It essentially just kind of rolls a random number generator, and you really have to get so lucky, like winning the lottery type lucky in order to drop one of these. But if you're doing Nightmare Sigils, because you go higher up in the Nightmare Sigils does not mean that you have a higher chance of dropping one of these uniques. The best way to potentially farm one of these is to just do the content that gives you the most uniques per hour. That is directly from a Diablo 4 dev, because whenever a unique drops, there is a chance that it does drop as one of these chase uniques. So Nightmare Dungeons actually probably would be a pretty good way to farm one of these, especially once they add in the teleportation straight to the Nightmare Dungeon. But I personally find a lot of uniques in random Helltide events, so maybe that would be a good way for you. Just wherever you find the most uniques, because everybody's experience is different. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. I do also like what Zizrin said where he wished that these dropped from Lilith. Maybe they made like the best one, like Harlequin Crest, only drop from Uber Lilith or something like that, to give it a little bit more of a targetable farm value. But who knows, maybe they're going to be adding more bosses in the future that will give them a little bit more of a chase unique drop potential, and they're going to be changing the loot pool as things go on. Again, I'm hopeful. But let me know what you guys think about these chase uniques in the comments down below, and if you guys really want to support my channel, please smash that like and subscribe button. It really does help me out. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.